Hi, this is Kelly from Petica Kelly and Play Learn Talk, and today I'm here to give you a quick tutorial on how to use this green screen virtual background set to work on sequencing with your students and WH questions related to how to carve a pumpkin or how to make a jack-o'-lantern. So if you are doing distance learning or virtual learning, this would be a fantastic activity to start out using in October, okay? And a lot of your students are probably already getting their pumpkins or going to the farm and picking them out. So maybe you want to coordinate with the parents ahead of time and have your students have their pumpkins ready, and you can either carve these together, which would be quite the feat, but it's possible, or you can kind of use this to prepare your students for an activity they'll do with their families later on in the week, okay? So we have our first slide, how to carve a pumpkin, and we have some examples of some uncarved pumpkins, and then the one in the center that has been transformed into the jack-o'-lantern, okay? So you'll notice that I have my settings window already pulled up here. It is very essential that you do not click out of this after you've imported the JPEGs. So all of these backgrounds are JPEG backgrounds. They are not PowerPoint, they're JPEG. So you're going to come to this little box on your Zoom settings and you're going to add image. You're going to add all of them. I believe there are 15 of them. And you're going to pull up your first background. You know it's up because it has that blue box outlined around it. And then you're going to simply put this down. Okay? Now we do that so that we can use the keyboard function or feature with the little arrows, and we're going to tab through. So like this, we're going to tab through really fast. Okay? If you didn't know you could do that, now you do, and it's a great feature to use, okay? So we have how to carve a pumpkin. We're going to move on to picking out some pumpkins. So down here at the bottom, I'm kind of sitting in front of it right now, but I have 3 options for you, okay? So you're going to use that as your conversation starter or a way to guide your conversation if you have a group. So where do you go to pick out your pumpkin? And you can have each person share like where they go to get their pumpkin. Now, where I live, most of us go to like a pumpkin patch or farm, but we can easily get them from the grocery store too. But maybe you have some kids that grow them in their garden. That would be really cool if they did. Okay, so we'll move on to the next one. Decide what kind of pumpkin you want. Down at the bottom, again, I have 5 different, I guess I'm sitting in the wrong spot right now, but I have 5 different areas for you to reference with your students. Here, guys, I'll move out of the way so you can see. I'm sorry, 4 different things. So we can do color, size, shape, and weight. So you can use that as a discussion on what features your students are using to pick out their pumpkins. So now we're going to grab our tools. So we can have our tools set out, or we can just use this background slide and we can point to each one and ask our students what it is or what it's for. Down at the bottom, I have them labeled for you. So you can maybe point to a candle and ask your students to tell you to stop when your hand is over the candle, okay? Or tell you to stop and go, right? So if you keep moving your hand and they say stop, what is it on? Okay, go, let's keep going, tell them to stop again, and then you're over here on the pumpkin scoop. Hope that makes sense. I do that with some of my younger ones, and they just like telling me stop and go. Okay, so here we need 1 knife, okay? We have a nice large picture. We already know it's a knife because we reviewed the vocabulary together. I have a visual right here to kind of give a little extra clue to our students that we need the knife for what? For cutting or for carving the pumpkin top, okay? And we can talk about, if you want, at this moment in time, why we're going to carve it and why we're going to take the top off and what's going to be happening next, okay? And also to carve the face, of course, right? So we're going to go through all of our tools and talk about what we need. All of them have the little visual cue to help your students better explain what we use them for. Now, with this one, for a pencil, I happen to use a pencil on pumpkins when I do it because it leaves a little indentation, okay? Some people use markers, and that's totally okay that you're going to be using 2 different things. Maybe your students use pencils, maybe they use markers. Open it up for discussion and talk about which one you prefer and why, okay? So here we need 1 candle. You can talk about whether you're going to use a real candle or a flameless candle. Just open everything up for conversation and working on that perspective taking, right? Other people's perspectives and how they do things. Okay, carve a circle. This is step 1. We're going to carve a circle. If your kids have their pumpkins, have them put it in front of them and just trace their finger around, okay? If they have an adult with them, they can go ahead and carve it with a knife with the adult there, right? So we have this little reference here to ask someone for help if you need it, okay? So same thing here, we're going to be taking out the pumpkin seeds. Now I have a pocket right here on my green screen, and my idea is to get some of the, you know how they have like spider web that you can put up around Halloween time? I've seen some orange spider web. So I'm gonna put that in here and pull it out only on this part. So if you wanna do that too, you're welcome to do that. I think your kids will like it. Next, we're going to imagine how we want to carve our pumpkin. So at this point, you can screen share to maybe some Google images of different jack-o'-lanterns for inspiration and also for some conversation. You could also ask your students' parents ahead of time to maybe share pictures of jack-o'-lanterns they've done in the past. Your kids might be excited to see their own jack-o'-lanterns up as a preview. So if you wanted to put those up as backgrounds, you could insert them in between these, okay? So next one is tracing the stencil on our pumpkin. You can also pull up images of stencils and talk about, you know, how you're going to stencil or what you'd like to put on yours. So step 5, we're going to actually carve it out. Once again, if you're doing this during the session, have the parents help. And our next one is placing a light inside of the pumpkin and displaying our pumpkins somewhere others will see. So you can talk about where we're going to put our pumpkins and who we hope will see them. And that's the entire activity. Okay, so I hope you enjoy it. I can't believe it's already almost October. This year has been flying by. Please leave a comment below if you have any questions. And I will also link in the comment area or about section the direct links to this virtual green screen background activity set. Okay, so have a wonderful week. Bye.